Hi, and welcome to episode 16 of the Owl Diary. Form there. Hello there, and welcome again to another edition of our Owl Diary, which is a weekly vlog. I'm here in the Museum Gardens in York, and we've had a busy week. Yes, we've been here in York in this display, and we've had a school visit, a wedding ring bearer, enjoying the great British outdoors, whatever the weather, and a flying experience. And of course, the usual maintenance and cleaning of all the enclosures and stuff. So as you can see, really quite varied work. So we've got the birds today, and we've got some different things going on. So for example, Pebble down here, he's our 4-year-old burrowing owl, and at the minute we're just getting him to a point where he's at flying weight, so I'm going to have a go flying him free. That'll be really good for the small events we do, because obviously in a big arena, a small bird like this that weighs only about 5.5 ounces isn't going to be that easy to see. It's very small, but we're going to have a go with that, and I'm working on a separate YouTube video all about how we actually train something like a burrowing owl to fly free. But being a burrowing owl, he's not going to be flying up into the trees. He'll be running around on the floor and jumping to and from the hand, maybe from a training perch to the hand and back, and that kind of thing. But I must admit, Pebble here has been, in the past, a bit of a cheeky little so-and-so, which is actually a technical falconry term. No, I'm only kidding, not really, but I will get onto the falconry term of the week shortly. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that one, and hopefully he won't be going anywhere too deep into the undergrowth, because with that camouflage we will not be able to see him, and we'll be on a burrowing owl hunt. Now, over here we've got Roland. Ignore the noisy falcon there. Excuse me, I'm broadcasting. So if we have a look at Roland, our Harris hawk here, if you can get the camera just under there, you'll notice on his tails there's a little white thing. That's a new tail feather. There it is, just starting to grow there. So he is doing a little bit of molting, but he's not in molt as such. He's actually at flying weight. He's had a bit of a bath, so he's a little bit damp there. So he's done 2 flying experiences this morning, and luckily the rogue wild sparrowhawk didn't come and play with him today. So at the minute, when we're flying our birds, we can have problems with things like blackbirds, seagulls and crows, because they've all got young at this time of the year. And when they see a bird of prey, could be a little barn owl, could be a Harris hawk, anything, they think that that bird is likely to steal their young from them, to actually have a go at eating them. So naturally they try and scare them off. They mob them in big groups. You find my hat very interesting, is that what it is? So when we've been flying our hawk recently, just over, if you take a little look, over by the Abbey there has been a sparrowhawk that's been coming out and trying to scare them off. But luckily no appearance today, and that one will have a nest in the area. It just shows that other birds of prey will have a go at other birds of prey should it be necessary. But no, he's at flying weight, not actually officially molting, just the occasional feather does grow through. However, Gulliver over here, Mr. Noisy, he is actually molting quite a bit. So if you take a closer look here at these primary flying feathers on either side you can get to, you'll see he's got some dark primary flying feathers on the wing, which are new feathers. And he's looking pretty good. I've just combed his beak this morning, that's why we trimmed the beak, but I do need to give it a bit of a file down, so I'll have a go at that. Now if you don't mind me just turning you that way, if you look at his tail feathers, they look pretty good, but he's got 1 or 2 that are still a bit broken on the end. There's a new one in the middle there. Oh, I'm not going to touch you. He needs to give his feet a clean, so he's not... He's not the prettiest thing in the world right now. We need to give him a little bit of TLC, but because he's in the aviary molting, they can get that way a little bit. Now, hopefully we'll get him flying in the shows again by around August or mid-August. Usually with birds of prey, especially falcons, when you start flying them again after some time off, you've got to build up their fitness. They fly through a lure. So what you do is you set them off, and you pretty much let them have the lure straight away. And then the second time you fly them, you let them do a couple of passes and then catch the lure. The aim is to not let them look tired and rest somewhere. Falcons should never have a rest during a flight. So you always try and let them catch the lure before that happens. So with Gulliver, he's really quite special, because when we get him back to flying weight again, he just tends to take off and look as he's had no time off at all. So I don't need to have loads and loads of weeks to gain his fitness up. I'll be able to get him flying free again fairly quickly, and maybe only have about a week to 10 days of flying training, and he'll actually be ready to do a show. He'll do such an impressive little 4 or 5 minute flight, 10, 12 passes to the left, absolutely fantastic. And that brings me on to Henrietta over here, our European eagle owl, our largest bird in fact. She's 19 years old, and if you look at her feathers, you can see she is absolutely immaculate. She is a really lovely bird, really gentle as well, aren't you? Really friendly. So next we're going to have a go actually flying her, and we'll see if she'll actually fly to the perch as we want her to, or whether she'll just sit in a tree and fall asleep. Right, she's all ready to fly. She's weighing just a little over 5 pounds. Alan is just popping in the training perch now. Are you ready there, Alan? I'll let you get out of the way because she's got a very big wingspan. Here we go. So we have our training perches set out. There's 2 of them here. Not too big a space in between the 2, but there's plenty of room. So we're now going to have a go at getting her to come over. Let's see if she will. So she's on that perch in a minute. Just got her get her attention. She is quite lazy, as eagle owls often are. I'm going to use a little chicken leg piece. It's not a huge piece of food. And of course, if she flies now, we're doing very well because it's the first time we've flown her free in a little while, actually. So if we do well today, it means there's not a lot of retraining to do. Just to get her moving, if we come right round here, we're going to forget about the perch for a second. We'll try one on the floor. This is actually a lot easier than flying to a perch. So she's not feeling quite as hungry or quite as keen, or she's a touch distracted, more likely. There we go. Now, one of the best things about Henry is getting her to walk across the floor. So if you take a closer look here, we can actually get quite a good little bit of a walk. So on the floor, because it's a bit easier. Up here. Good girl, you can have that for that. We'll gulp that down in one go as well. So we've made a very good start with Henrietta there, and we'll keep going every day, bring her weight down a touch more, and she'll get more used to it and become a daily routine for her. And we should have a pretty good bird then for the flying displays that are coming up. Now, on the screen now, across the bottom, you will see some of the bookings we've actually got, some of the events and shows we're going to. And if you are in the area or visiting that area and want to come and see us, then please do. We're going to have a really great time in the summer with our flying shows. In fact, next week's video will be more on how we prepare for those flying shows, practicing flying the birds with the music and doing certain set pieces that we have in the flying shows. So look forward to that. Right then, Henry, let's get you back on display. Please enjoy the rest of this week's Howl Diary. So, another day and another event, and let's hope that we haven't got that face later on when we have England in the final of the Euros. But let's not worry about that right now. We'll see what the result is later. Aww. I'm here in the Spa Gardens in Ripon, and I'm doing a little display today with the exotic animals. So, a bit different. I have, of course, got one barn owl, just for token value, as it were, to talk about birds as well. But we're mainly going to be looking at the exotics, and over here, of course, we've got the cockroaches who are hiding mostly on that side. Ooh, there's a tarantula hiding down there, and in a moment I'll show you one of the other reptiles which will be a focus for this week's video, as it were. But I really think I should do, because the video's nearly over and I haven't done it yet, the falconry term of the week. The falconry term of the week. So today's word is furniture. A word that you will be familiar with, of course, but in this particular topic, it refers to the equipment that the birds wear. So if you take a look at Bailey here, you'll see he's wearing some anklets, and he's got his dresses on. He's wearing braided equipment here with the dress extender. There's the leash there. Anything else they wear, like the ring, a bell perhaps. Sometimes you fly birds with bells on so you can hear them when they're flying, or a telemetry transmitter, for example, that is all called their furniture. So there we go. This week's falconry term is furniture. So what I've got here then are a selection of exotic animals, and each week in the Owl Diary I have been introducing another one of them. So I'm going to quickly show you now this one here, and this is Velcro, and he is a pink-tongued skink. They're an Australian species, and we call them Velcro because he has such lovely grippy feet. There he is, a little lick of the tongue, as it were, sniffing my camera, my phone. There he is in a bit more light. You can see the lovely patterns they have, and they are very smooth, slinky creatures with a lovely long tail as well. And it'll feed on a variety of prey. It's a predator, it's a carnivore. It'll eat things like insects and mealworms, but their favourite are snails. So we buy professionally bred snails for food purposes, and it likes to crunch the shells and suck up the goodness inside. So there we go, Velcro the skink. Fantastic. So we've also had another wedding this week. Bailey down here performed at an Indian wedding, an Asian wedding as it were, and because of the nature of those sorts of weddings, the ring delivery isn't during the ceremony as such, it's actually during the speeches part of the reception, if you like. So we didn't actually get a practice flight. Now, the gentleman who was going to receive the rings with the glove, he had never handled a bird before, or an owl of any kind, but he certainly had apparently worked with parrots. Oh, you're perfectly qualified then. But luckily, because Bailey the barn owl is such a fantastic professional little owl there, he flew right down the aisle perfectly to the best man, or the gentleman with the glove, and he even flew back, and I caught that on film as well. And you can see how big the venue is, lots of lights and possible distractions, but no, he did fantastically well, so I am really, really pleased with him. So we're about to start the day then. Lots of people are going to be coming in, and I'll be talking about reptiles and barn owls and all sorts of things all day, and it's just part of another busy week. It's summertime, we love it. Anyway, thank you very much again for watching this week's Owl Diary. Stay tuned to the channel for future videos, and as always, thank you for watching.